What's going on, guys? This is Sam from Education Hunt. Thanks for stopping by. This week I've got a cool tool that I definitely want to share with you guys. It's called Startifier, and I'm willing to bet most of you, or many of you, have probably never heard of it. Now, a couple weeks back, I did a review on Pushbullet, and I talked about the cycle that I go through, that sometimes when I find a resource, I'm uncertain of why I should like it, and my hope is that eventually I'll like it. Startifier and I went through a similar process, so although that discovery time really was nowhere near what it took for me to understand why this is going to be of value to me, in the same way that Pushbullet took forever. This took a week or two in terms of how it would be of value in the classroom. It's done phenomenal for us and for helping new subscribers join really the ranks. So we doubled our enrollment from under 100 users for about 3 months we've been at it, to in 2 weeks time we doubled again, team members, going from about 80 or 90 people to this week we're over 210 subscribers on 5 different continents and many more countries. So look for some geeky stats to come. But to that end, Startifier is amazing. In the write-up this week, I gave my top 3 ways that I would actually use it inside the classroom. And I understand in the write-up, it may not be as clear as you'd like it to be. Like, where's this value coming from? So I thought this would be a beautiful way to also give another nod for Startifier. You know, I think my view in the classroom is that the text is non-negotiable, right? So you got a textbook, like it or love it, take it or leave it. It's there. You have to use it. That's non-negotiable. So what your goal is as a teacher, and what mine was, is searching for resources, right? What are things that are going to be interesting to your kids? And so for me, I always went to the places that were just super rich in content, and then I consumed on my own. So I was always sharing out NPR articles or stories. I was a huge consumer of Foreign Policy. It was a bi-monthly print publication, and they just had tons and tons of amazing articles on things that were relevant. And so I would always bring those to class, and my hope was that would kick someone in the pants and get their motivation going beyond what we were doing in class. So I was a strong proponent of finding secondary resources. It took time, took money, took effort, and as time goes on, that's could be an outdated way of sharing. Startifier, I think, can be your best friend, and I'm going to show you how. It works with finding links. You find links, you find content, and then it does something really cool for you. It puts a nice, neat badge on there and allows you to promote content. So as a teacher, you probably do like me and say, okay, so what? So let me show you what first, and then I'll show you my top 3 ideas. The same way you would grab or share an article, Startifier can be your best friend. You grab a link. Let's say we want to take a look at foreign policy. And so as my super slow connection is working on getting there, we simply copy that link. We drop it right there, and then we create a new one to share. And so when we do, what you can see comes up is 1, the link we found, but then 2, even better than that, and you'll see in the bottom right hand corner in just a moment what's going to pop up. There you go, shared by Education Hunt. That's me, Sam. And then there is the promoted content right there in the corner. So maybe the gears are going at this point. It allows you to own, find, and track content that you share with others, whether it's students or other adults. It allows you to put that mark on it. And so as a teacher, this is something that has a tremendous amount of power. So the first way to use Startifier is what I did just there. Showed you how to use a single link with a single piece of promoted content. So when you actually get your Starterfire account, right now they're in beta, you can have two ends, your links and then your promoted content. When you go over to promoted content, it's super simple to add content. You got your URL right there and then your title. Copy the link, drop it in, you're good to go. The second way that I talked about in the post is taking that same approach of a single topic, a single link, a single promoted item, and then as you go through and then find different topics that you're going to talk about with your kids, you migrate over those links that you share out to your promoted content. So let's take a look at my promoted content, and you can see here, as a good example, we've got 1, 2 different pieces of promoted content, and you can add as many as you like. So it could be 2 or 10 or 15 items. And the way that I envision that in the classroom is that you're going to continue sharing links with your kids, and then each time that you share a new link, you migrate over that previous link. And so what that's going to do, let's take a look at that article again. What's that's going to do is that's going to then add or then build up your promoted content. So it's almost like a bank, so they can always revisit the things that you shared out without having to search for it. So if your goal is review, it's become super simple for your kids to track down that content right there all in one spot. So you think about this, okay, this is the best of Mr. Z, and this is right now what Mr. Z needs you to watch, the actual website. So that migration would look something like, let's go ahead and copy this. We're going to make this promoted content because we're going to say we found something new. Spelling is horrible for me. We'll go ahead and add that though. And then what happens, let's take a look. You go back over to your area. Let's visit an old issue. And what you'll see is that link has now migrated on over. So we've got what the person wants you to show, or what you want your kids to see. There you go, shared by me, Mr. Z. And then when you can take a look right here, your recommendations are going to pop up right here. So we have 3 pieces of promoted content. We'll take a look. We got that. We'll see it right there, foreign policy. And that's where it came up, right? So what we, the thing that, let's go ahead and trash this because I don't actually need this. I just wanted to use that as an example. Uh-oh. Okay. And so we got the 2 remaining. Again, that works as a way to migrate, to keep your stuff over there. But it's not quite to the nerd status level that I envision for you guys. So I talked about the third way. And the third step that they provide for you is called a RSS feed or URL. And so when you go over to your links, you take a look at this. We'll visit our services. You got tools. And what they do is they provide a URL. So you could copy that right there. And let's say we're going to visit something like Feed Reader. You add a new feed. Drop in the URL right there. And it's going to read it. And then boom, right here. Every link that you have ever created through Starterfire is going to be right there and accessible for your students. So I got something like over 40 of them right there. And that's going to be accessible in a RSS feed. You can also download an app. I use GReader as a good one to have right there and on your phone. ready and accessible. So that's like your Startify account on steroids. To categorize it, make it clean, make it easy for your kids to use and sort, I would recommend labeling the title by units of study. So having Unit 1, and then all the links, titles that you would have to go with that. Unit 2, all the links, titles that would go with that. And what that does is it makes your RSS feed right here searchable and actually indexed. I don't have mine there, but it's an easy way to use and incorporate what you're doing with Startify, and probably, truth be told, a little bit more clean than the second, but it does take a little bit of footwork. And I know that sometimes that can be intimidating, but it's certainly well worth it. Guys, that's all I have for you this week with Startify. I'd appreciate if you could do me a solid and make sure you share out with a friend, create your Startify account, and then make sure you send them back to visit with us at Education Hunt. Each week we pick out the top 3 resources and we deliver them straight to your inbox. Hit us up on Twitter, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.